my channel. I'm Jessica, and today I have my update for my Pan That palettes. I am doing 2 palettes in this particular project because there's kind of 2 themes going on here. The first one is the PANtastic Ladies Facebook theme, which is fun size. That was created by Jackie. I'm gonna have her and everyone else that has joined into that theme listed down below, and it is just like it sounds. It is a fun size, small pocket size kind of palette, and for that I am doing the Huda Beauty Amethyst Obsessions palette, and my friend Dana is doing this one as well. And I am also doing Better Together, which was a Paula creation. It was a theme that was put in last year and did not win, but we decided we were going to do it anyway, just kind of like as a collab. And now we have it put into the Facebook group as well as a project on its own, like a standalone. So I am doing the Marc Jacobs Fantasy palette as my Better Together palette. So these are the 2 that I'm working on together. It would help if I actually held it upright. And I will show you my progress on these. If you want to join in on either one of these themes, by all means join in. Once it is live, you don't have to be a part of the Facebook group in order to join in. Just go ahead and pick your stuff and have at it. So let's get into what these palettes look like. I am going to start with the Huda Beauty Amethyst Obsessions palette, and I'm going to put on the screen where it was where I started. And this is what it looks like right now. I will do a close-up of the shades as I go through them. This was, I wouldn't say it was completely untouched when I started, but most of the shades were swatched only, and I am not much further along than I was in the intro. I've used every single shade in here multiple times on some of them, and they still look untouched on some of these, which is kind of crazy. I think these mattes are going to take a very long time. So let's start with the first shade here. This is a very pretty shade. I've only used this one twice, and that was mostly just to blend like my inner lid and my outer lid together. And I like it, but it's going to take a long time. It's not a shade that I'm going to use all over my lid frequently, but I do like it a whole lot. Same with the second one. It is kind of like that mid-range tone, a little bit darker than I normally would put all over my lid. So it's one that I am using just to blend with now, like between, like in the center. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I frequently like to do that ombre kind of look, and that is a good shade for that. So that one looks virtually untouched. Now, shade number 3, I have used quite a bit, and it doesn't look like I've touched it. I mean, slight disturbance on the surface, but for as much as I've used this shadow, probably a good 6 or 7 times, I don't look like I've used it at all. And there's like a little Greta hair hanging off of the edge of my palette. She's blowing her coat right now, so her hair is everywhere. It's the craziness. We had snow, like feet and feet of snow, and then like less than a week later, we had a day in the 70s, and both of my puppies, they're blowing their coats, and it's cold again, so what are you going to do? But her hair's flying around everywhere, so if you see it, that is why. All right, getting on to the second row, this dark shade. I love this for the outer V. I do use it as a crease shade. I use it to set my eyeliner sometimes. And yeah, it doesn't look very touched at all, but I enjoy it quite a bit. Now, the first one that shows any real progress is this center shade here, and I like this one a lot. I use it as a topper mainly, but it is so stinking pretty. That one is going to be one of the first 2 that is going to be done in this palette. Moving on to this purple shade here on the second row. That one I have only used, I believe, twice. I do like it a lot. I feel like that is the only true purple in this palette, and I need to use it more. I need to use it more. I like it a whole lot, and I feel like it's going to be getting its love really soon here, especially as, you know, we get closer to Easter, and Easter's early this year, so I feel like as I get closer to Easter, I'm going to be using that true purple a lot more. All right, on to the bottom row here. This is another shade that I have used quite frequently. I use these 2 shades together quite a bit, and it hardly looks like I've touched it, but I have. I've probably used this one a little bit more than the darker shade because I find that this is a fun transition shade for me, and it doesn't go anywhere. So the mattes are going to take a long time in this one. The middle shade on the bottom row, I actually do have it on my lids right now. I like this one a lot. I put it in my inner corners a lot. I do it on my lids, and I do have a little bit of a dip in here, much like this shimmer up here, I just love both of these two shades. Those are going to be the first ones done in this palette. And I feel like this one pairs very well with a lot of different stuff. So that one, I think this one's probably going to be the first one done. And I'm hoping actually to have pan on this one by the next update. And then this last shade here in the corner, I love this shade. It's kind of pink, it's kind of purple, it's kind of in between, and it really pops, and I appreciate that in a good shimmer. I've used this, I believe, twice, and I'm just going to continue enjoying that one. January is usually my play month when I am in a year where I want to finish a lot of stuff. I always kind of play a little bit with everything in January, figure out how everything works together, and then February is usually when I really start to focus on stuff. So I am definitely going to pick some shades to focus on, and I believe my primary focus is definitely going to be this one down here to hit pan on. That is the only one that I am going to attempt to hit pan on by the next update, and I'm just going to continue using all of the rest of the shades with this one being my focus. Okay, on to the Marc Jacobs Fantasy palette, which is my Better Together palette. I'm going to put a picture up on the screen of where it was before. And this is where we are right now. We have some major changes on some pans, mainly this first one here. So we'll go through them all together, and I will put close-up pictures of these, and you can see the difference, because this is massive, massive difference. I had baby pan on that one before, and I'm at the point where I feel like I want to repress the shade. I use a very, very fluffy brush. I'm trying not to blind you, and I feel like I'm having a hard time picking up product on this one, so I definitely want to repress this now that I have done my update. For shade 2, these do have names, but they're upside down and they're kind of small, so I'm just going to go for shade 2 right here. I have used this one quite a bit. It is a little more hard packed than this matte cream shade, but I do really like this one as a kind of neutral to cool tone transition shade, and I have definitely expanded the pan on that. The third shade here, again, I really like this one a lot. It is a little harder to get through, but I do like it as a transition shade for my warmer looks, and I have definitely expanded the pan on that one as well. I did not use the fourth shade at all. This fifth shade here I have used once, and I did that kind of like over most of the lid, and I used my finger on that one, and it kind of almost covered up the pan that I had there, but that's okay. I'm not worried about that shade. It is by far one of my favorites in this palette. It is not going to be here at the end of the year, I am sure of that, so I'm not rushing through it. I'm just going to use it randomly here or there as I'm really feeling the shade, and I know it will be done. All right, this kind of like rusty orange brown here, I use this frequently. I use it in my outer corner. I use it to set my eyeliner, to deepen up the outer V. I really like the shade a lot. It pulls very orange on me, but that's okay. I like oranges, and I'm not mad at it. Definitely have expanded the pan on that. This is going to be slow going, but I am not concerned with not finishing it for this year. So that one is definitely going to get done as well. And the last shade, I think I've used this one 3 times. It is nice, but I feel like this one and shade 3, they're not the same, but they are similar enough that I would probably use them in a similar fashion, and I prefer the third shade more than this one. So when this one is done, I will focus on this one more, but I'm still not worried about it. I really think this palette is definitely going to be done by the finale, probably early, because I really just enjoy it. Like the last 2 years, I've really felt the oranges a whole lot, and yeah, this one definitely fits the bill. So I'm very excited about this one. All right, I need to make some predictions on this one, or some goals or something, because I am really gravitating towards this. I think this matte cream is going to be done. It is absolutely going to be done. I want to extremely expand the pan on these 2 shades, and then the rest I'm just going to use here or there as, you know, I feel like I want to use them. But I definitely want to get that matte cream done and out of the way. Not that I'm trying to get rid of it, but I have other matte creams that I'm working on, and I'm trying to systematically work through them one at a time, especially if they're tonally the same. So that is what I'm going to do with that, and I think that's going to be done by the next update. All right, so definitely go check out everyone down below. Jackie and Paula were the two creators of these projects, these peanut palette themes, so definitely go check them out. And there is going to be two separate spreadsheets, one for the fun-sized group and then one for the Better Together group, because they are two separate projects within the group. All right, so how many times can I say group? I'm going to wrap this up because I've still got to edit and upload this baby, because it has been a very busy day. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and until I see you in my next video, have a beautiful day.